A Noria is a machine activated by water power and used for lifting water into a small aqueduct, either for the purpose of irrigation or for the use in towns and villages. There is at least one known instance where it feeds seawater into a saltern. Noria versus Sakia, the terms referring to traditional water-raising devices used in the Middle East, India, Spain and other areas are sometimes used rather loosely. The term Noria is commonly used for devices using the power of moving water. For devices powered by animals, the usual term is Sakia. Other types of similar devices are grouped under the name of chain pumps. In Spain, the term Noria is used also for devices which are actually Sakias. The proper Noria uses the energy derived from the flow of a river. It consists of a large, very narrow undershot water wheel whose rim is made up of a series of containers which lift water from the river to a very small aqueduct at the top of the wheel. A Sakia differs from a Noria in the way it is powered, and by the fact that it raises water out of a well, a body of standing water, not a river. Sakias can have its water scooping pots or buckets attached directly to a vertical wheel, which makes it look very much like a Noria. Thus the many confusions. Or it can use a so-called pot garland, a chain of pots slung over the vertical wheel which hangs down into a well which may be up to 8 meters deep. The most primitive Sakias are driven by donkeys, mules, or oxen. The animal turns a horizontal wheel, which is engaged with the vertical one, and so causes it to turn. In Spanish, an animal-driven Sakia is named acena, with the exception of the Cartagena area, where it is called a Noria de sangre, or water wheel of blood. Another, much rarer type of Sakia uses the same system of necklaces of clay or wooden buckets, but it is driven by the wind. The wind-driven Sakias in the vicinity of Cartagena are virtually identical in appearance with the local grinding mills. Functions. The Noria performs the function of moving water from a lower elevation to a higher elevation. In this it is similar to the Sakia and other pumps, but those are generally powered by other means, not by water wheel. Its concept is similar to the modern hydraulic ram, which also uses the power of flowing water to pump some of the water out of the river. Unlike the water wheels found in mills, a Noria does not provide mechanical power to any other process. A few historical Norias were hybrids, consisting of water wheels assisted secondarily by animal power. A Noria can raise water to somewhat less than its full height. The largest Noria in the world, with a diameter of about 20 meters, is located in the Syrian city of Hama. History. The undershot water wheel and overshot water wheel, both animal and water-driven and with either a compartmented body or a compartmented rim, were invented by Hellenistic engineers between the 3rd and 2nd century BC. Around 300 AD, the Romans replaced the wooden compartments with separate, attached ceramic pots that were tied to the outside of an open-framed wheel, thereby creating the Noria. Norias were adopted from the classical world by Muslim engineers, who made some improvements to the Noria. For example, the flywheel mechanism used to smooth out the delivery of power from a driving device to a driven machine was invented by Ibn Basil of Al-Andalus, who pioneered the use of the flywheel in the Noria and Sakia. In 1206, Al-Jazari introduced the use of the crankshaft in the Noria and Sakia, and the concept of minimizing intermittency was implied for the purpose of maximizing their efficiency. Muslim engineers used Norias to discharge water into aqueducts which carried the water to towns and fields. Some of the Norias used in the medieval Islamic world were as large as 20 meters in diameter. water, the Noria's at Hammer being a surviving example still used in modern times. It has 120 water collection compartments and could raise more than 95 liters of water per minute. Muhammad ibn Zakaria al-Razi's Kitab al-Hora in the 10th century describes a Noria in Iraq that could lift as much as 153,000 liters per hour, or 2,550 liters per minute. This is comparable to the output of modern Norias in East Asia, which can lift up to 288,000 liters per hour, or 4,800 liters per minute.